Well, my randomness continue. So what's better way to go from anime girl action figure to miniature sci-fi fantasy miniature? Yes, after I got a few more figures, I thought, oh, I should actually build something. And then I look at my stock of model kits, which is about 4 piles high now. And I realized, oh, I've got a lot of miniature that I bought from Reaper in preparation of getting myself ready to build all of those Bones 3 Kickstarter stuff that are coming in next month. Yeah, if you're watching this in June, they're coming in July 2017. So yeah, there was a bunch of stuff that I bought. Most of them I actually have some interest in, and this one is one of those. Uh, there is one or two that I bought simply because it was cheap, and I was going to use them as a way to practice painting miniature because I haven't painted any miniature since Warhammer stuff. And to be honest, those Warhammer 40k stuff are sci-fi, so there's nothing in relationship to fantasy stuff. So yeah, this is a Griffon. If you can't tell, I base his bird part in the bald eagle sort of color because most Griffin usually have some sort of eagle as a motive for the front half and lion for the back half. So I decided to go for the bald eagles. So I decided to have the white head and the mostly dark brown body and the yellow beak and yellow claw. And I noticed that a lot of people in on the internet, when I see pictures of griffins, if they base it on the bald eagle, they give them white wings. But if I look at the actual American bald eagle, it's actually black wings, mostly black wings, or very dark brown wings. So I thought I will follow convention of dark brown wings and just put a little bit of white, as you can see in there, and on the underside of the wing, a little bit of white, just to give it a bit of a contrast. But yeah, very simple. I did very little work on this thing other than a lot of dry brushing. The base again is a piece of metal come from my workplace. If it is for screw holes there, yeah, this piece used to be for something else, for screw holes that you go into it. This one is pretty thick. This is actually a very thick piece of metal. I think it's 1.5. We changed it to 2 mil. Don't ask what we actually do. I don't know why you want a 2 mil thick piece of metal on this small size and they're not supporting anything heavy. Anyway, that's enough talk about my workplace and weird choices. Yeah, and the original base is only about 2/3 of this whole circle. So did a bit of putty, did a bit of surface texture finish to actually give it some surface for the flocks to actually grip onto. Yeah, and the whole thing is super glue. Yeah, a friend of mine told me that when he did miniature, he never actually have miniature grass actually is so solid. And I told him that, oh, what I do is I put some super glue, throw a lot of the floss onto it, and then once they're dry, I actually put 1 or 2 drop of thin super glue everywhere, and it spread, and it actually cover everything and solidify. And now the grass is so solid. I'll probably need a chisel to actually get some of them off. So that's a Griffon. Something I did not realize is the size. I thought this Griffon is going to be relatively small when I have it with just a body, and I put the wings on. I realized the wings is actually pretty big, and I did not realize how big it is until I put it next to one of the miniature in the range. So this is my Ghoul Queen painted to look like a shaman in World of Warcraft. A bit of random choice, but yeah, in any case. But yeah, it kind of worked. But yeah, look at that. That's pretty big. Here is a fire giant, and remember that this is a Bones 1 fire giant. Bones 3 is going to come in with giants that are actually much bigger. Apparently, the fire giants were undersized, and so were the I can't remember now. There was another series of giants that was done in Bones 2, but they were all actually undersized. So in Bones 3, they caught all of the technology, right? And they're going to remake them, and they're going to make them bigger. So apparently it's going to be about this tall for this guy. Yeah. So this Griffon, in terms of volume, is still bigger than him. In terms of actual mass, it's probably about the same. But yeah, even the giant is going to be a little bit dwarfed because of the wings. And he is one of the dragon from the range. And yeah, even for the dragon, to be honest, I think it's a good match in size between this dragon, which is, oh, I can't remember the name now. There's a particular name for this dragon. But yeah, if you look at the size and volumes, yes, it's smaller, but it's still a pretty good match. So if you had to see them in a fight, I have a feeling that the dragon is not going to escape from the fight with this Griffon unscathed. So it's pretty big. It also makes you realize just how scary of a world it is in Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, this sort of thing about this sort of size, everywhere. So anyway, here's just a bit of quick random stuff. I'm moving on to a lot of the resin kit that I have at my home that I haven't built yet. So yeah, so next update would be probably much later because it's resin kit. In any case, see you in the next video.